गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरन्तस्य ज्ञानशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। So, namaskar. Namaskar. When somebody says namaskar, giving back namaskar is Bharatiya samskara. Namaskar. Good. Thank you. When Anirima, I came to know through Shantigiri webinar of ICPR. I was part of Shantigiri as a consultant. Shantigiri is an ashram in Kerala. There's a beautiful lotus meditation hall run by a local Swamiji. If you want to see that, there is a beautiful movie of Kerala which is called Guru. That is shooted in that place. So I am a consultant there. They have a Siddha medical college also. So I go there to teach Siddha medical college sometime. One qualification Anurima left is I am MS in psychotherapy. So there are so many I cannot complete actually. No, I am telling in context of the Shantigiri. Correct. So that makes me a medical person who is close to medical science also. So last time I attended one of the session, I think the first or second one. That was a virtual one. And I was asked to speak on political ethics. I was thinking you chosen this by looking at my lecture in philosophy family, Utkal University, where I gave a lecture on the same topic. That was in May. There is a philosophy family in which one of the lecture, I think 2-3 lectures I gave there continuously, and one of the lecture topic was war ethics, in which if you want to know war ethics, probably that is what I spoke on that day. I make sure I don't repeat most of my talks because I am recording to post it onto YouTube. So if I speak the same thing, it becomes boring, right? Not for you, but for me. Correct. So most of the teachers, they teach same syllabus, same topic, 30 years. But I teach same subject, different year, different style, different topics it will be. That's what I love to do. Correct. I used to be a teacher in Ramakrishna Math in Hyderabad, where I do a lot of workshops. Power of positive thinking, communication skill, creativity, and same class somebody else will sit, second time communication skill. I said, why are you sitting here? Sir, I have not improved, I want to know whether you have improved or not. Right? So I like to be a creative person. She mentioned that I am from space department, right? Space is always free, nothing is there. Is there or no? In space something is there? Are you able to follow my language? You are thinking as if I am from a different planet, you don't understand my language, looking at like this, which is this creation, who came from where? It is not your normal classroom, normal public lecture, normal formal lectures. I am a very informal classroom teacher. As if I came to your house, you should talk to me. Understood? Yes or no? I am in your house or you are in my house? I am in your house, right? So who should talk more? You should talk more and ask a lot of things. I am not very new to Kolkata. I am very close to Swami Vivekananda. That's what I mentioned, right? Vivekananda Institute for Human Excellence. That is where I must have trained millions of youth. Hyderabad, we have a beautiful center. The ashram is in the center of city. 8 acres of land. And any youth can join. There is a youth development program. 100 rupees you pay, join. You get 100 rupees back in terms of books. It is printed in the same ashram. So course is free. And we give a lot of lectures. And the lectures are different. That is where I started so I am very close to Swami Vivekananda. Calcutta I came many times. My first visit was for Life Insurance Corporation marketing. I am an MBA, so I do a little bit of marketing job also. I know how to make business happen. So I am one of the speaker for LUGI, L-U-G-I, Life Underwriters Guild of India. That's most highly paid. I don't know how much Anirima is going to pay me. There 2 hours lecture I charge less than 1 lakh. I said less than 1 lakh. Don't worry, not more than 1 lakh. No, just be happy. It can be anything. She paid 12 years back for a half day lecture. She paid me 1 lakh rupees. Half day lecture. And the topic was creativity to the power of infinity. Got it? I came to Northeast generally. I traveled to Italagar. Anybody from Arunachal Pradesh? No. Arunachal Pradesh people don't come here. Why?
There are other universities.
Okay. I know few of my students who joined in different Punjab also they joined for graduation. I used to go regularly there. And 9th class students, I'll do a 20 days of workshop to mold their life. There are Vivekananda Institute for Human Excellence. Similarly, same much in Arunachal Pradesh is called Vivekananda Kendra Vidyalayas. So Vivekananda runs the institute there. So I go there to do that. So I'm so familiar to Northeast. Assam I am very familiar. I have got a niece whose name is Dimu, D-I-M-U, because she took birth in Dimapur. My sister's daughter name is D-I-M-U. Very uncommon name, right? That's because the first few railway tea stalls were owned by my brother-in-law. So I have good connection. And there is great connection between, I am from Kerala, the southwest and the northeast, right, the extreme two ends. We are also Devi Bhaktas. There are more than 50,000 Devi temples in Kerala. I am sure Bengal is full of Kali Mata, right? I have a book one book, Dashamahavidya. All my books are available on internet, you can read it. So I did a thorough study on Dashamahavidya. 10 Devi Sankalpas are there. Actually, Navaratri is Dashami, 10 Devis. It is not Navadurga, different forms of Devi. The first one is Kali, Tara, Chinnamasta, and Saraswati. So in Kerala, the Navaratri celebration is only Saraswati. The rest of the Devis are not part of Kerala celebrations for Navaratri. We more believe in Saraswati. Who is Saraswati Devi? The goddess of knowledge. No. Goddess of knowledge? Sure? Who is her husband? Saraswati's husband. Brahma. Who is Brahma? God of? No. Creativity. The God of creativity is the God of research. So we have a good combination. Education and research. If research is not there, education is not there. And education is not there, research is not there. Right? True or not? My research was in mathematics, which probably most of you don't understand. And I am close to fluid dynamics, much more to physics. But what degree we get is PhD. What is that? Permanent head damage. Some PhD fellows think that no, my head is full. Actually, it's damaged head. So all of us, after research, we get a degree called Doctor of. So in every subject, what is there? Philosophy is there. So there is no subject in the world where philosophy is not there. So I do research, and my mathematics, when I present it to someone, somebody else must be able to understand it. If you don't understand, whatever I do is useless. So philosophy connects between what I do to the public. How do you understand? How do you make sure that you also love the subject in the same way I loved it while reading? So the love for that subject is created by philosophy. That's why you see most of the scientists at the end becomes philosophers. And philosophy is very close to poetry. So I am a poet. I write poems, both in Malayalam and English. So all my poetries can be there. How many of you have seen 3 Idiots movie? Wonderful. Yeah. Who is the hero for that? Amir Khan's teacher in the Film Institute was my close friend. So I gifted my book to him. And he took that book into the class and explained. That was the myth for that 3 Idiots movie. Millions of sperm from the father get into the mother's egg, and only one sperm take birth, and that's me. Millions of sperm from the father get into the mother's egg, and only one sperm take birth, and that's me. And who are you? Each one of us are winners. Winners in what? The first fight we had for taking birth. All of you raise your hands. Take it back and say well done. So what is the first war? You understood what I am coming to? What is the first war in this world? War for birth. And who is the winner? You should say. So don't look at the mirror and say, yeah, my nose is not good, my nose is good. Right? Don't say my hairstyle is not good, I don't look good. No, you should tell that I am the winner. And you fought with millions of unborn brothers and sisters who would have taken birth instead of you. So which is the first war in the world? Yeah, that what somebody said, Brahma creation, right? He has done his job. Your grandfather, father, everybody does it. You will also do, you will also produce. But useless. All of you should write. You have pen and paper with you? I always keep a pen and paper. What is that you should write? I am useless. Everybody scolds the other fellow useless. Correct? Yes or no? Yes or no? Many people scold like that, useless. Yeah, but that is past. You become highly creative. Will somebody call you as useless? You have to be creative. So use becomes useless. So read that again. I am useless. So that means you have not used you properly. Correct? How do you use yourself in the 100% method? Whatever I know, if I can make it practically possible, then I am 100% good. My ability must be, my skill must be put into practice in terms of performance. So if I am not able to perform, I am useless. How do you call the fan is efficiency of the fan? It is meant for rotating this many times. And if it doesn't rotate, you tell that the efficiency is low. And if it doesn't work, you will say it's useless, right? That's why most of us get the scolding. I got it enough in my life. I was not at all a good student. So many people said useless. Yeah, fine. Useless. I am going to use myself much better now. There was one fellow who got this scolding from Bhagavan Krishna himself. You know the story, right? The last lecture was that. So that's what I cannot use that. So what Mahabharata says, most of the people say it proclaims, it says people have to fight war. No. In that last lecture which I attended, who was that? Yeah, it's difficult to pronounce names. Mahopadhyaya, that's it. He said, it is not Bhagavad Gita which is important. You should know the context in which it was written. Correct? I got some few points when I listened to lecture. I write it down. Yeah. This is one great point which I got. I taught Bhagavad Gita at least 3 times, but I never got that point. So sometimes the context in which we are there, we are not able to understand. That makes us really bad. All of us have a purpose. So Arjuna had a purpose for his birth. It was not, did he came to the war field without knowing the opponents are his relatives? He knew previous day also, right? So having come to the war field, what you should do? Fight, that's it. You can decide whether you want to register for examination or not. But having gone to exam hall, what you should do? Huh? Write exam. Because that's the only place where you can have a... You know, exam is a big war between you and the teachers. Throughout life, teachers give notes, you have to read. This is one chance for you to write note and ask your teacher, read this. The return punishment goes, the arrow goes to them, right? I have a beautiful session on how to prepare for exams, how to be a winner, study, read DrTPS exam study. Then you will get a blog in which 30 points to students, 20 points to parents and teachers. How to prepare for exams. I love examination halls. Because I consider what am I doing in the exam hall. Check whether I am right or not. Correct. I attend interviews because it's the best method to argue with. Whether you get job or not, that's a different matter. You enjoy. I remember going to UGC Academic Staff College Director's post. 3 vice chancellors were interviewing me. So I was in the space department. Why did you come to university? Because university pays less. Space department gives much better salary. Because it's central government. Our facilities are much better. Especially space department is one of the most prestigious, right? So I came to a lower scale salary. So the vice chancellor asked, why did you come for a lower salary? I said, I didn't come for job. I didn't come for salary. I came for interview. So when you go for interview, doesn't mean you will join, right? Only when they offer, we will check whether to join or not. That's a later decision. So what attracts you in the interview? I am seeing 3 vice chancellors in front of me for half an hour. Will you be able to call 3 vice chancellors at your home for half an hour discussion? So what you should do? You should go to the interview so that 3 vice chancellors are in front of you, free of cost. You understood? So meeting great personality for a Kshatriya, for me, it's an academic war. You understood? So what I did, I know what these people can ask. So how to prepare for interview? You should guess all the questions. And prepare answer. How did I prepare? I prepared lot of notes like this. You ask me a question, yeah, this is the answer for you. How did I know what you are going to ask? So what I did, prepared everything, printed is available, 5 copies are there, all of you can read parallelly. And some questions I have a big answer, 13-page answer. One document is there, take it. How do you know? We know what is going to happen. So where is success? You get 100% in your examinations only when you can predict all the questions what they are. Should I have to complete the sentence or you know the sentence? You understood? That's how I prepare children. I prepare children for examination saying that, guess. What could be? This is the tactics in the war. If I know how the other fellow is going to be, I was part of Government of India. My job was Deputy Director. She told, but nobody listened. No, another job was also told. 500 rupees. Don't tell anybody. If anybody can tell what was that she told. Deputy Director in which department? Security. Director General of Security. Full. Did you ask what does that mean? That is raw. What is raw? I was Deputy Director in raw. I was policeman. Deputy Director in raw is a police job, right? Combined Defence Services and police together is called a. There is no barrier between Department of Defence and Home Ministry when it comes to Prime Minister. There is another police under Prime Minister. That's called SPG. Right? So I was Deputy Director. So what is that we do? We have an analysis department called strategic analysis. So what is strategic analysis? How we should know how the neighboring countries are. I know more about neighboring countries than India because that was my job. So we do spying. Look from the satellite. That's why a space department became a raw person. From the space, look at what's happening in the. I know every culvert in the Pakistan area. I can tell this now because I left for 12 years. Otherwise, I would have been arrested. Publicly, I am not supposed to tell, but I am 12 years out from the department, so I am free now. Cooling period is 7 years. So I know every bit of land there, and many people know this. We spy from the space. Strategy. How do we train our military people there? Video games. All of you have seen video games, right?
Yes, sir.
Cheaply available, free available. Is it that the computer scientist from America, not a small institute, MIT, a PG like yours cost 3 crores rupees and full free fellowship. That's a merit. Got it? A computer scientist does a lot of job to create a small video game. Do you think it is made for you to play? It's all military. And some waste is given for video games. The original action is, have you seen somebody can go inside the house and then tush, tush, tush. It must be some place in some war in some country, some point of time. So this is how train our army fellows. So what are we doing? We are looking into somebody's, where I am driving you. War ethics. You do it in your neighbor's house. Is it ethics? But when a country does to another country, yeah. Correct. Indian embassy can hold people there. There is a military attaché there. A military fellow is posted in every embassy in the other country. It's called a military attaché. Every country has got such designation is given and military fellow is posted. Pakistan military fellow is also there in Delhi with the commissioner's office. That is ethics. So what is ethics now? What is politics now? What is ethics now? Okay, I keep asking a question. At the border there is a soldier who is fighting with another country. Is that other person who is standing in front of him has done any crime to this fellow? So why am I killing him? Can he say that no, we are good friends? We have not. Okay, assume that in the war front somebody kills the other fellow and he comes back to Siliguri. What will happen? Siliguri MP will come, MLA will come, collector will come, ministers will come, Didi will come, and then what they will do? They will be honored great, right? For what? Killing an innocent fellow in the other country. Is it correct? I am seeing this and this also. So some people agree, some people don't agree. It's most confusing. That is because ethics is confusing. There is no single definition says this is what. No. What is good here will not be good in some other place. Right? Assume that that fellow happens to be from a small village from nearby Silguri, and the whole village people comes, there is a drunkard here, he beats every day. Not necessarily, no. Bengal it's the other way. The girl beats boys or boys beats girls after drinking. Who drinks more? I don't know. It also depends on culture, right? So suppose there is a fight and then he asks the soldier, kill that fellow. He's the most, everybody in the village says this person is useless, kill him. And assume with all the courage, the soldier smashes him. What will happen? Police will come and then arrest him, right? Previous day he was given all the awards, rewards, honor, everything, star is given, but what happened today? So it is not action which matters. Where, when, why, how, for whom, in front of whom, who does it matters. So ethics is the most confusing probably thing in the world. That is why Mahabharata war, in our context, in our scenario, in our views, we cannot say, oh, war was required, is it right, is it just, should it have happened like this or not, no idea. Because we are not in that time and space. It matters, time and space matters. It changes from place to place. It changes from country to country. But you can see a lot of similarity between the Indian epics. Where does this Mahabharata, Ramayana belongs to? That's not Veda. It's not knowledge. Veda is knowledge, right? And that's called the Idihasa Puranas. Idihasa Puranas are only stories. BHARATHEEYA Deva Sankalpa. What is it called? Sankalpa. You know, understand what is Sankalpa? Sankalpa means my creativity, my imagination, poetical aspect. And you will see in most of the literature, in classrooms, in your syllabus, it says 5,000 years, 3,000 years. Don't believe all this. The greatest historians in the West, one of the biggest mistakes they have done is they have created a timeline and then said everything in this world happened between 5,000 years to this time. Because they don't want the heritage of India that old so that India is considered as greatest power. So they have rewritten the whole history. There are a lot of libraries in which I was part of one of the group who does research on this. Geopolitics. The subject is called geopolitics. And we had a website nearly 22 years back, Mirror India. And we are coming back now after 22 years. Again we have a group of counterpart who works in Canada and America. Last week also we had a meeting. We are trying to create a Samruddha Bharata concept. The Youth Formation program. There are so many parallel programs now happening. You will see the India will start with all that energy back into power. One of the country, we have got a lot of history in the world, Mesopotamia, then Babylon. We don't know where to place this in the map also now. Because we have to ask for what is the present name, correct? Except in India. Why India stays? As long as the world exists, India, probably name would have changed from Bharat to India. So we are trying to create the name back, Bharat. So when you say this, India, the Bharat had a great tradition. Another country which probably close to the tradition is only Greek. So you will see a lot of relationship between India and Greek in terms of many belief systems. Probably not culture. Culture keeps changing. But belief systems, probably one of the most closest. That's why when we take always the philosopher's name from Greek and then you learn Greek. Correct? Do you know where it started from? That's where I am coming. BHARATHEEya war tradition. Which is the first war fought probably in India other than the Deva, Asura. All goddesses carry a lot of weapons. You know this, right? Why do they carry weapons? Which god doesn't have a weapon, you tell me? In some form they may not have, but there will be another statue with a greater weapon. And who has maximum weapons? Kali, Devi. Durga, everybody, Dashamahavidya, all the 10 forms you read. It's all different forms and different names. There are 56 different names of Devis with all the first letter in our Indian alphabets. In each place it may be different. And the last one is Chinnamasta. You know what is Chinnamasta? Head is cut. And when head is cut, there are 2 blood oozing out and then 2 people will, your closest people only will take your suffer. The ego is suffered not by you or enjoyed not by you but others also. Right? I. When I say I, we cannot say I like this. We have to say I like this. So the head is up. So if you cut your head, ego is gone. So Chinnamasta is a beautiful concept of cutting your ego. So each Sankalpa I have interpreted in terms of the psychology within each one of us. The philosophy within each one of us. And there is a Tantra Shastra related to that. I also learned Kerala is very good in Tantra Shastra. Tantra Shastra is the Puja Vidhi. I belongs to the tradition of Brahmasri KPC Anijan Patadripad. He was the guru for Maharishi Mahayogi in Tantra Shastra. And my guru and Maharishi Mahayogi's gurus are same. So there is a lot of weapon with every god and goddesses. Why? Even Veda says you can give advices to people. Nice philosophy. Philosophies are advices. You have to behave like this, you should do like this. But people don't listen sometimes. So what should come out? The real Durga should come out. Agradas Chaduro Veda. 4 Vedas. Agradas Chaduro Veda. In the front, all the 4 Vedas should come. Prishta Jashasharam Dhanu. Keep your weapons behind. Every god, goddesses you can see. One hand like this, and another hand, dish. And one of the best one is with the great philosopher. Who is the great philosopher? The greatest philosopher in the world. Krishna. What a beautiful man. He says, don't think about me, you do what you want. Don't worry, I'll come and save you at the last moment. Bhagavad Gita, if you don't read, very difficult. Every sloka by sloka I have given explanation. Full slokas, DrTPS, you will get in YouTube. Chapter headings, brief of chapters, another playlist is there. Special slokas, important slokas, another playlist. Some 3-4 playlists are there. My last session was for United Nations NGO, Yoga Community. From New York they were hosting. For few chapters I did there also. So what Krishna says, don't think about me now. What you should think about me only at the last moment. Do you know when is your last moment? Anybody knows when is your last moment? So what is Krishna saying? Kya chalu hai wo? Correct. Think about me only the last moment. So what you should do? Think about me all the time. Then I will save you. That's what he says. I am not quoting slokas. I am restricting myself not to. It is easier to quote sloka and then explain. But then it takes longer time. Andakalecha. This sloka is important. Andakalecha manasasmare. Andakalecha. The cha is, anybody, what is cha means? in Sanskrit? And. Andakale, no. Many people will translate it, last moment you think about me. No, Krishna, Vyasa is much more greater because it's his advisor. No? He put it Andakalecha. Last moment also you think about me, then I will save you. So what is that all of us want? All of us want moksha. How do you get moksha? What is the biggest problem all of us have? Or what is that Mahabharata says? Why two people had fighting? They studied in same philosophy department of North Bengal University. Two fellows, Dharmaputra and Duryodhana. Both the same professors taught them. Same class. Same guru, correct? They belong to same family, cousin brothers only. Relatives same classroom, same lecture, exam also both got. Sometimes Duryodhana got more marks, but Dharmaputra got less marks also. So marks doesn't matter. That's what the story of Mahabharata says. But assume that I am bad. The most saddest person in this world, if she is alive, my mother is not alive, will be mothers, not father. Check at your house, who will be the most saddest person? Thinking about you all the time will be your mother, right? So who would have been the worst affected lady? Gandhari. Who is responsible for making Gandhari only made her son like this? Because always what will happen at home, if you do some small mistakes, husband will scold. Because of you, he became like this, right? Correct or not? Now this cannot be told because father is blind. If father is blind, what mother should do? Support with open eyes. What this lady did with full love, blind love you call, right? That's where the love word came, blind love, from Gandhari. Some people have blind love. Northeast is very famous for that. Blind love, they got married. So what will happen to children? Both the parents are blind. They don't look after their children. So children will go and have company with the good fellows or wrong fellows. And where is the wrong place in this world of neighboring countries, which is the wrong world? That is where the whole Mahabharata war is not because of anybody. It is because of this person who had the wrong habit of mixing with the wrong person. Is it ethical to have a wrong company? No. So where did he took his most best advisor? For Dharmaputra, Krishna was the advisor. For Pandavas, Krishna was the advisor. For Kauravas, who was the advisor? Who is that? Where is Shakuni from? Let us go to the place. Is he from Bharata? That's what my question. Kandahar. Where is Kandahar? Afghanistan. Gandhar Naresh. Kandahar. Kandahar is in Afghanistan. So what Mahabharata says? Don't have company with Afghanistan people. Very simple message. You can't trust them. What they will do? They will cheat you somehow. Do you agree or not? Don't agree? What is the pathetic situation in Afghanistan today? Even after the whole world is changing, Afghanistan is not able to change. Right? So I am not telling. This is what Mahabharata says. So Gandhari would have called us many times son and say, better don't be like that. See your cousin brothers. Don't you tell, your parents will tell like this? Look at your neighbor, no. Look at the cousin brothers. So Gandhari would have called many times and said, look at Dharmaputra, how good boy is that? Why you are like this? You know what Duryodhana says? Janami dharmam. You give me an examination, I will write beautiful lecture on ethics, I can write essay. 100% I will get. But nachame pravritti, I am not able to do this. So what is the biggest problem? I know what should not be done. I know what is to be done, but I will do what should not be done, and I will not do what is to be done. That's a problem. Janami dharmam nachame pravritti. Janami adharmam nachame nivritti. Why? Kena api kamena hridistidena yatha niyuktosi tatha karomi. My gum, my space. I am from space department. What is space means? Gum. What is gum means? Manas. You know, understand manas, right? Have it or given to somebody. If you, inside your gum, there is su prefixed, it is called sukham. You prefix du, it is called dukkham. So what is the biggest problem in this world? Sukham and dukkham. Who is giving that? Uddharet atmanatmanam atmanam avasadhet atmaiva hyatmana bandhu atmaiva ripuratmanaha. Bhagavad Gita says, your enemy is you, your friend is you, your war is between you, and that is conflict. Mahatma Gandhi, have you heard of this proverb called Mahatma Gandhi to conflictology? Einstein to physics. Einstein is a very famous physicist, right? So conflict, contradictions between buddhi and manas, to do or not to do, that is the biggest problem. And where is war? War is within us. And the whole Purana Itihasa, the Indian tradition, don't look at it between two different palaces, two different places. That's why same palace, same place, fighting is there. And that is between in me and myself. That's why Krishna says Uddharet, lift it up. Arjuna is inside me, Krishna is inside me. My Atma is my Krishna. Arjuna is my manas which vibrates. Atma will keep on saying, who will tell ourselves, I should not have had ice cream yesterday? Who will tell? Correct? Me myself will tell first. So it is my Krishna inside me who keeps dictating me, you should not have done this. So it's a big conflict inside us. You look at the Vedic time, the Satya Yuga, then Treta Yuga, then Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga, right? If you look at this, in Satya Yuga, there was no conflict at all. Because people were the nature, they don't have desire. Wherever desire is there, what is desire in Sanskrit? It is called kama. The translations in many languages could be different. Right? But Sanskrit it means kama. Kama means desire. What is your kama? Do you have any kama? Yes, what is the kama? What drives you here to sit in the class? There is a desire. So that desire drives you. And what is the artham? Kama artha? Yeah, but you tell in a different style, I will put in a different style. Because everything starts with the desire. And the means of happening it is called a artham. And that has to be in the ethical fashion. Dharmic way. So there is dharma and adharma. Sometimes our buddhi will tell, buddhi, I don't use the word thinking and all that. Thought is a very Western style. We have two different things. Buddhi and manas. But Western people don't understand manas. Do they understand manas? Yeah. This is hardware, backup media, and this is software, RAM. You understand, right? Okay. So in the RAM, I have got this knowledge. That is why without thinking I am saying. If I have to download from here, what will happen? It takes some time. I have to think. Am I thinking? Now, do you think I am thinking to speak to you? No, I am not thinking. Where does it come from? It comes from the manas. And because it comes from the manas, I am able to take you into your manas. You are not thinking. You are enjoying. You understood the difference? If it comes from the buddhi to buddhi, your manas will say, waste fellow. But still you will sit. What for? Many reasons, right? So, there is always, every moment of kama, the means of getting it happen, there is an ethical and illethical. Non-ethical. Not correct. The terms can be slightly different. Wrong and right. True and Is it true? How do you know which is true? Do you think in the court the judge gives verdict saying it is the truth? Verdict is given based on truth? No. I am an LLB. So what happens in the legal front? There is no truth being, what is there? Facts. You understood the difference? Facts are visible, truth need not be. Truth cannot be seen. So where is ethics? Oh, when somebody gives, this is how it is. In my present knowledge, this is what it is. Correct? So when I get more knowledge, what will happen? It will keep changing. The time, space, place, action, who does, to whom, keep changing it. If you look at either Aristotle or Plato or whoever you want, you will see these philosophies inbuilt inside, but stories could be different because the place is different, life is different, culture is different. And we have a great relationship in the mathematics. The first best theorem which we learn is in the Pythagoras theorem, right? Do you know who is Pythagoras? You know the relationship in the philosophy with the Pythagoras? That only, that I am asking philosophy, not number. Pythagoras, the right angle triangle, etc., some rules is there, right? But actually he has got a lot of relationship between the Plato, Aristotle, and the end is, these are all philosophers, and the end is a great man with a great war. When you look at the West, who is the greatest person who fought a lot of war, who wanted to conquer India? Yeah. And then who stopped him? Why he could not come to India and then fight? What stopped him? If not, read Kaudilya, Chanakya. What a great man. If you not know, what you should do is, I used to listen to his, there was one Doordarshan. I downloaded the whole thing and listened many times to improve my Hindi. But I am not that great to understand that language used in that serial also. What a great one. He says, when head is being cut, some small pain is there, hand will come for support, right? So India is Akhanda India. The word used is Akhanda India. And when small pain is there in Kashmir, Banglas and Assamese and also Punjabi should go and support. India looks like look like a human being, right? Himalayam samarabhya yavat Hindu sarovaram tam deva nirmitam desham Hindustanam prajakshati. India is such a place where created by God. So you cannot cut that into pieces. So who joined India? In our history book we learned Britishers came, united India. No. Who is first, Britishers or Chanakya? Yeah, you read Chanakya and then read this history. You will say, hey, write it for examination. That's a different matter. But don't believe. You understood, you will see a lot of conflicts, contradictions. India were into small bits and pieces. But our body is into bits and pieces. I keep asking. Is this your pen? Yeah, this is my pen. Is this your hand? Yes, this is my hand. Is there a way of telling difference? An outside object and my hand, this inside my body. This is outside, right? This is not part of my body. This is part of my body. But I will ask, this is my pen, this is my hand. No way of. The ownership is by me, correct? And who is that me who is owning my hand? Me. Where is that me? Who is that me, myself? You are conflicting and contradicting. I said your buddhi will tell your manas, I should not have done it. After this lecture I will say, oh, I should have told that point. Who is telling me? It's only me. Who is that me who is telling me? Yeah. So how I make myself not to conflict and contradict? Where that soon after the lecture, I will not tell myself, oh, I should not have told this. Oh, I should have told this. This keeps happening to all of us, right? Correct? Why is it happening? Because your Atma is not equal to Manas. Atma is not equal to your Buddhi. Suppose your Atma and Manas and Buddhi become same, it is called Atmiya Purusha. That's called Atmiyata. That's called spirituality. A spiritual person has no contradictions, no conflict, no war. So how do you show this into the world? That's how it has been. So actually Kaudilya was one of the greatest spiritual practitioners in the world. That's why he writes, I don't know how many of you have read Arthashastra. If not, go to economics department. If at all they have English translations, every university will have at least 10 English translations. And you go inside that, you will see wonderful explanations on how interest has to be paid, who has to run, management science, full mathematics, full economics, full political science, full geography, everything can be seen there. That's why the greatest philosopher, Simmons, I think, from Germany said, understanding Kaudilya is like making rope out of sand. Can you make a rope out of a sand? It is that difficult to understand Kaudilya's book. But I read many times. I took examples of the interest rate to be applied in banks for different loans. Today, if you come for an education purpose loan interest is different. Agriculture is different, industry is different. If you want to run another bank chitti shop is different, right? Kaudilya explained all this. So, somebody is giving loan for higher rate, not uniform. Socialism is what is to be practiced? No, Kaudilya says no socialism. Gauge people and then give it. In business there is an ethics, business ethics. So don't think, when you say war, don't look at Mahabharata war, Ramayana war. No. In Satya Yuga, no war. In Treta Yuga, the war was between two different societies. But Dasharatha, who is Dasharatha? Dasharatha, he had 10 cars. It only means he was very rich king, not a small king. Every king had 1 or 2 cars, but this fellow had 10 rathas. That's why he is called Dasharatha. And what was his kingdom? Yodhya, no Yuddham. War is Yuddham only. So, the Treta Yuga, the king had a place where no war will happen. That is the first rule. Can you think any king having a rule that no, I will not fight war in my land? Definitely everybody will have. Their job itself is fighting war. But he says, no, I am not going to fight war. That is why Rama fought war not in our country. Went to Sri Lanka. Don't think that Sri Lanka is a different nation. India and Lanka is in same longitude. You learned a little bit of social science, right? Longitude and latitude you understand. Do you know Lanka and center of India? Which is center of India? Center of Bharat, center of India. You are in northeast, I am in southwest. When you say this, somewhere we come closer, you have to come into the center. Where is the center of India? That's called the Panna. You know Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh. You will draw a line. That becomes center. This is Uttar Pradesh, right? So that center is called the Khajuraho, you heard, right? Have you heard Khajuraho? Have you heard Khajuraho? That's called the Vatsyapura. You heard Vatsyayana? That I heard. Yeah, Vatsyapura is called the Khajuraho. Lenga Vatsyapura Vandis Thaneshwara Suralayan. If you tie a rope between Lenga and Vatsyapuram, Khajuraho, that is called the longitudinal line. Don't think Greenwich Meridian was the first one. We had our own Greenwich Meridian, center of India, 0 longitude. Our geography was good. Aryabhata was great. But before Aryabhata, all these were made. Aryabhata only copied and wrote it, little bit exaggerated or explained well. That's it. So our geography was great. So these knowledge system, these combination of life together, all developed probably when either Satya Yuga or Dwapara Yuga. The conflict was there, then they had only that was the story. Satyayuga, what happened? A lot of knowledge. Satyayuga is the time of knowledge, truth, not fact. You understood why I mentioned that fact and truth. Absolute truth. No, ethic was not according to your choices, you cannot. No, it's truth, 100%. After that, two societies. So I have a different truth, you have a different truth. No, it's not truth. I have a different ways of life, different ways of life. I have a different ethics, you have a different ethics. That's why these fight came. Then the next fight was in the same family, same palace, same classroom they studied, they started fighting each other. That's Dwapara Yuga. So what should be in Kali Yuga? Inside each one of us there is a fight. You understood? From no fight came to two society fight, then came to two families together fight. Now today, it is not that you have a conflict with your parents. You have conflict inside you and you are showing it off to your parents. If you can be so peaceful and calm, do you think the world will have war when everybody is happy? We keep saying Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, but immediately those fellows who claim Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, our people, and they are from different places. And what is that our people and your people then? I am not a religious person. I am a zero religious person. I am a spiritual man. I have no faith in all these sankalpas. Though I studied the puja vidhis and sankalpas. That is a sankalpa. Understand, it's only a sankalpa. What we need is a truth. Very difficult to get. Little closer to truth. And that is why my kama, artha, dharma, blissfulness, happiness. Suppose we get happiness, then the rest of the things doesn't require to be discussed at all. I am always happy. So I will never think that no, I should not have done it. Yeah, doesn't matter. Will I be able to tell for everything like this? But there is another word, politics. We need to govern. Everybody is not like that. There is a beautiful story. Rama and Sita was walking together. And many people were suffering. Sita asked, it's a story. Not even Purana Itihasa. It's a normal local story. Right? So Sita says, why people have to suffer, Rama? You are a god and a king. And as a king, your job is to make everybody happy. Why can't you bless them also be rich? Everybody is rich. Rama said, no, there has to be police. Police is required or not? Yeah. When is police required? Only when policing is must in the city, right? Do you see more police in the city or in the village? Wherever there is problem, police have to be there, right? Wherever thief is there, somebody has to be there to catch. Right? Good and bad should be there. Rich and poor should be there. Otherwise, world is not balanced. Sita did not leave. Sita said, no, please do it for me today, please. So Rama blessed everybody. After a few days, the palace was leaking. Nobody is cleaning. Then Sita asked, why workers are not coming? You only said everybody become rich. Who will come for work? Then Sita said, no, make everybody in the reverse. Let them be poor. He did. Correct. See, everybody should not become professor. Professor also require an assistant, right? You think everybody can get into equal status? No. So we created strategy for many people to have different levels, different thoughts. So therefore, we need some people who will rule us. But don't think that they are ruling us. That is where the problem is. I keep asking, where is government? Somebody thinks that I am the government. No, he is not the government. If he is not there also, some other buffalo will come there. Correct? When Indira Gandhi was shot, people thought India is going to collapse. Nothing happened. Correct? I am a blessed person. When Nehru died, same year I took birth. When Indira Gandhi died, I joined my masters in the university. When Rajiv Gandhi died, I got a job. That's how I remember the years. History is very simple, relate to your life. Correct? Many people will come. One will go, the other will come. Things will change. Somebody thinks that government, no, there is no government. Our traditional God concept is also like that. Don't think that no, Krishna is Hinduism. No. Krishna is also fought with some war with somebody else. You know the fight between Krishna and Shiva also. You know? There's a lot of fight. This is a place, pass through this, you have a beautiful river running. Which is that river? It all ends up where? All the rivers in India in the north comes from where? Kailash. That is Shiva's place, abode. That is center of India actually. Once upon a time. That is supposed to be the head. I went to there, Kailash, Parikrama, Manasa Sarovar, beyond that. Brahmaputra. You have to drive through Brahmaputra to go there. And we had a beautiful person from Kerala goes there, Parashurama. The man of war. Axe is his tool. Given by God. Because the greatest warrior in the world is Shiva. Nobody can beat him. But he also does some mistake. By mistake he will give Ashirvada to somebody and that he goes around and then he himself will put his hand on the head. You know the stories, right? So when we go to Kailash, we have to go through that. And then there is a Yamadwar. We have to pass through that to take Parikrama. I have done all that. So when all that place, when you go, you see what a wonderful place is this. You see the stories of gods explaining the war. And their family itself is full of animals. Can you imagine what a difficult zoo to be managed by? Correct? What? Snake is there, it will not go with the other fellow's vehicle, peacock. You know who has got. And who is the god of war? Skanda. Skanda is? No, who is that? In a well-known name, he has another name. Kartikeya. And another name, Subramanya. He is also the god of astrology. I am an astrologer. Tomorrow I have a lecture. In which school is that? College. Yeah. There I have got a lecture on astrology also they have put. Unknowingly. They don't know that I am an astrologer, but they put space science astrology. But I said fine, because I know astrology also. Right? So, it is required. What is astrology? Predicting the future, right? Is it not war? Predicting the future? I must know what is going to come. If he is going to be a big enemy, what should I do? Hide. That is what, you know the story of Ganesha losing one. Do you know the story? Parashurama went there to meet his guru, Shiva, and that time Shiva and Parvati was enjoying. And two people were on the safeguard. One was Subramanya and then Ganesha. Knowing that this Parashurama is coming, there is going to be a war. You know what Subramanyam said? Let me go and come back. He took an off in travel time. Exactly that time this fellow came. And he said, I want to go. No. He said, no, I cannot go. I permit you because my mother told me don't permit. Father is not another illicit. No. Relationships are different in our God structure. What a beautiful structure is this. So he said, don't go. Then what happened? Parashurama was so courageous, he took his and then said, I am going to. You know what Ganesha did? Took Parashurama himself like this, rotated and put him down. So that time he got a chakra and then hand, from the hand the axe went and then cut. Immediately Subramanya, everything happened, finished. Now I can come to the stage. That is what is required. In war, sometimes don't involve. So you will see Bharatiya tradition, lot of stories how to deal with a war. And the war today is within us, within Graha. Inside your house there is a big war. Right? Sometimes proclaimed war will be there. Sometimes silent war also will be there. Correct? Some people will run away. I don't want to involve. I will come later. Let the marriage happen. Then I will come. Correct? That also you can see sometimes. These are all part of the game. And then there is a city war. Nagara Yuddham it's called. The traditional Vedic structure, if you look at it, the first Rig Veda, I think, I don't remember I have written somewhere in the notice. 17th Khanda or somewhere there is a mention of Sudha's war. You heard about Sudha's war? That's the first war. Sudas, English. I cannot spell it in Sanskrit, right? Sudhas, that's it. Sudha's war. The Sudha's war, after that consequence of Sudha's war was only one of the family member left this India and went to Greek. And you have your sports one Nike. Yeah, that Nike is one of the sisters' kid only. Even now we are using those words without knowing they are our grandfather's property. And what is Nike? In a athletes. Everywhere we have to win. Winning is part of it. Court is also a war. In a normal court, what happens? Dharma Yuddham happens in the court, right? You have to present what is fact and then win the war. So Dhanur Yuddham is there. Every Samaram is a Yuddham. I don't know what is in your Bangla. Maram means what? Does it mean tree? Maram means tree, right? In Kerala, Maram means tree. So I keep saying Samaram. What is Samaram? Sa prefixed is always good. So Samaram is good. Good tree is called Samaram, right? What is Samaram? Strike. That's also war. Samaram is a war. Vivada Yuddham. Argumentative war. Heard about this? People fight each other. Vakya Yuddham. So war is not just fighting with weapons. Don't think that. The Indian tradition of war is Tarka Shastram. Tarka Shastram is actually a war. Vakya Yuddham. And based on the merit of the war, different categories of people were given different rankings also. Shadow war is there. It's called Prachanna Yuddham. Heard about this? Sometimes you don't fight directly. I don't know, not in this poetry book. Another poem is the Life of Love, in which I wrote what happened in Treta Yuga comes to Dwapara Yuga, and what happens in Dwapara Yuga comes to each one of us every day. In Treta Yuga, Rama fought and then killed somebody hiding and putting an arrow. Bali Sugriva fight, you know, right? So what happened to Krishna? He got killed by arrow hidingly given to him, right? So you will see, it's called Arrow from Shadow. The poetry name is Arrow from Shadow. You can download and see that. Every day what happens to us. So there is a Paramanu Yuddham is also mentioned in our Vedas. Paramanu Yuddham. Kalaham, the normal fight, is also called Yuddham. But ultimately what is required is whether you need a democracy, whether you need a politics of installation of democracy, communism, whatever you want, authoritarian or maybe military, you can see different rules. The world can have different ways of looking at it. If you go to Gulf and all, you can see. I keep traveling to Gulf. It's much developed. With all these, what we call it as democracy, with a lot of politics, what has happened to us? We are not making people happy. India is one of the, probably the least in happiness index. United Nations statistics, if you take, we are not happy. So if happiness is not there, that means you are all fighting a war internally inside you. So politically oppressed, economically oppressed, we have got a lot of problems. So how do we change this system? When there are two countries, we have a messenger, we have a spy, we have, you can see, some messenger will go, Krishna was a great messenger and he failed. So internally when we have, who is the messenger who has to talk to us? Atma. Buddhi and Manas will fight. And if we can do that, we become a highly spiritual person. I think good enough? Almost 1 hour? Correct? I can go on and on. You want me to go on? non-stop. But I think it doesn't work. What can be done is, you can ask questions. I mentioned Mahatma Gandhi, right? Man of conflictology. I remember my last university lecture in that we had a chair for Sanatana Dharma chair in the university where I was director. My last lecture was Mahatma Gandhi's conflictology. Good enough? So what we need is to make ourselves happy. The purpose of understanding the tradition, politics and ethics and war, everything is to redefine the purpose of life so that we become happier. Objective and scope has to be defined. Everybody has a scope. Everybody has a role to play. What is lacking in each one of us is we are not defining our roles. We are not limiting or bounding because we look at somebody and say, oh, he is like this, let me also be like that. No, you cannot. Every product has got, we are all different products, though we come from same factories. Right? Each one of us have got a uniqueness. And that uniqueness can be understood. I think the freedom in us will grow. The freedom becomes a limitation when your expectations becomes higher. Yeah, you can have a high expectation. Yesterday I think I was talking in the philosophy family. When you asked a question, I was talking about 3E. So I made it as 3E's principle. Your experience of yesterday will determine the experiment of today's life with an expectation of what I can do tomorrow. Then you will not fight a war with you. Got it? This is what a lesson probably we can take to improve ourselves. I don't know what I said, but I tried to connect many things to understand. You can see Bhagavad Gita explains war, not the using the word war itself many times, but Uddharet Atmanatmanam is all improving yourself. But only one place the Yuddha is mentioned, I think it is 2.32, in which he says, Arjuna, you have a skill. You are not using it. And it's a chance for you to use it and prove that you are a warrior. Don't run away from the war field. Because if you run away, the whole people will say, Arjuna has run away from the war field. So I can also run away from the exam hall. Understood? Now you cannot, because though you don't like to write exam, you have to write exam. Why? Because Arjuna, though he don't like to fight a war, he fought a war. Got it? That's what it says. So you have to do your job, do your duty. So Kshatriyas were made to learn, they were advised to understand what war is, and law and order needs some sort of a civic discipline can be engaged only when you have a rule that governs society. So individually people are good, society becomes good. Society can be good, but individual can be wrong. You have been indisciplined, so that you will have problems. Good enough? Thank you. I must thank Anurima. I am sure without the department, every person who is part of shareholders of the activities, they are not together, this cannot happen. So I am so blessed. Last time I was in Kolkata with 3-4 days of teachers training program, principals meet, she was pulling me. I said I will come when there is a program actually. Good, nice, thank you. God bless. I am sure some interaction, some questions will give me little more way to think in a different style. So I will be very happy. Yeah.
So I shall call one by one. They will ask questions. Thank you, Dr. Shashi Kumar, for your illuminating lecture. He spoke so many things. It is not possible perhaps to sum up, but this much I can say that it created a war in my mind actually. And I was wondering, how can he recall so many slokas? It seems that he has charmed up everything. Anyway, it was indeed very illuminating, and it was very easy for our students also. I think some of you may ask certain questions. So I am now inviting questions from you. You can ask. Okay, you can ask from there also because we have a microphone. Okay, sir. সাগর তুমি একটু এটা আপনি বসুন সাগর ইউ ক্যান
Assistant Professor in the Department of Philosophy, and my college is Puriputra Siddhi Mahavidyalaya, Mandachal. Thank you very much, sir, for your informative lecture. And this is a very important lecture for me, and I feel very proud to be part of your lecture. And I think this is an important part of my day also. I have learned many things, and I think all these informations are very, very important for all of us, not only for students, for everybody.
Thank
So
you.
I have three different questions. I want to ask first, you have mentioned about the confusion of ethics. You said that ethics is itself confused. Because what is good for me may not be good for others, and what is good for others may not be good for me. I think it becomes subjective. There is no objectivity in ethics. So here my problem is to understand that is it our ability to understand ethics in the proper way, or is it our ability to apply ethics in the proper way? It may be that I am understanding ethics wrong. I am wrong to understand ethics. I am not able to understand ethics in the right way. Or like me, somebody else may not be understand ethics in the right way. Is it that this is my query, sir? This is my first question.
Okay, sit down. May I know one thing? How many of you can want to ask question? Can you raise your hand? Sir, would you like to answer one by one, or would you like to...
One by one, otherwise I will forget.
Okay.
She will forget her question.
Okay.
And somebody else may have same question. Or maybe this answer will raise question to somebody else.
Okay.
Correct. Kavita, correct, no?
Yes, sir.
No, sir. Sir is a old title. Britishers has given. Sir Isaac Newton, Sir C.V. Raman. I am DrTPS. I think it's India has to stop calling people sir, sir, madam. The other day I had a discussion with an American lady and somebody called madam. Don't! I am not madam. They don't like. Only we are still following the stupid British. DrTPS. Should I call you madam?
No, sir.
No, sir. We don't improve. So whether it is right or wrong, now tell me. I gave you some message.
Sir, I am confused.
Yeah, sir, I am confused. You understood, sir? So what is ethics?
So I may be
Again,
right
sir.
in front of other place, but in front of you, I don't know.
No, what I am saying is, what we follow, immediately changing doesn't happen. So it becomes a big problem. Correct? You tell me one conflict which you keeps on reading Mahabharata, one thing which you cannot absorb. There is something wrong. You tell me what is something wrong. I can show you many. Tell me, you will see a lot of non-ethical, illogical, stupid, which should not have happened in Mahabharata. You tell me how many are there. You will see hundreds and thousands. What are they? That is what people say. What is in Mahabharata can be seen in everybody's life. What is happening in our life is already there in Mahabharata, which you cannot see something else which is not written. Correct? So you will see a lot of conflict, contradicting things. Do you think Mahabharata has given a solution by Dr. Krishnan, PhD in philosophy? This is what is to be followed. He said no. What did he say? Yadechati tata. Whatever you think is right, to do it. But ultimately, the message of Bhagavad Gita is what? What Kavita should follow is what gives you happiness, which will not make you to tell next moment, oh, I should not have done it. You understood? That is ethic for you. That's called dharma. In one word, it could be easily what can be understood or which can be slightly complicated in philosophy terms so that people don't ask second question to that is ethics is dharma. So where are dharma? So dharma, my dharma. philosophy department dharma. During somebody's headship there is a dharma. Another head comes, the dharma will change. You understood? And there is a societal dharma. Siliguri has a dharma. The Bengal has a dharma. India as a whole has a dharma. So we have I belong to a caste. My caste has a dharma, which I am supposed to do. Assume that I happen to be the son of a butcher. Cutting animals was my job. What is my dharma? Helping my father. Should I ask as a small boy? No. Only very rarely people will see Hiranya story, you know, right? Therefore, he took another path and made his dharma. So you have to be so courageous to oppose your dharma sometime to come out of it. If you are not able to come out of it, what you should do? Accept it so that you are happy. So what is the ultimate message? Be happy. Ashochyananya shochastam. Where is Bhagavad Gita starting? Don't mistake, it starts from the Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, first sloka. Bhagavad Gita doesn't start. Gita is Bhagavan's Gita. Bhagavan is giving message, right? Do you think chapter 1 sloka is Bhagavad Gita? No. It starts with the second chapter, 11th or 7th. I don't remember. Check. The sloka I remember. Ashochyananya shochastam. Ashochya. What does it mean? Ashochya. Shocham is dukkha. Ashochya. Don't be sad. Kavita, don't be sad. You do whatever you want. But then after some time also you should not become sad. You understood? And what is the last sloka? 18th chapter, 66th sloka. Ma shucha. Don't be sad. So in between two, do you know how PhD thesis is written? Objective and scope and conclusion. I know this thesis have got an objective and scope. This is what I am aiming to. So Krishna said, I am aiming to make people happy. And the last one is happiness. What is the shastra which Krishna used for this? Sudarshanam. What is darshanam? What is darshana shastra? All of you raise your hand. Keep it on your head. Oh Bhagavan, what a life is this. Darshana shastra is philosophy. Sudarshanam is what? The best philosophy. Who has got Sudarshanam, best philosophy in his hand? Krishna. What is Vishnu? Krishna's weapon is what? Sudarshana. So what is your weapon? Philosophy. So what you do doesn't matter, but you can philosophize it and then talk to somebody, confuse him totally so that he forgets about the question, then you are a philosopher. Correct. You should confuse so much that they don't understand anything. That is philosophy. So there is nothing right or wrong, nothing good or bad. It depends on where, when, why, how, what, in front of whom you have done. That's it.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So I have another questions.
Don't say sorry.
No, I keep saying you can tell, sir.
Why do you want
One
to
thing,
thing?
you have asked one question, give other chance also. If you want to ask something else after this lecture also, you can discuss.
944 74 944 74 37 948. Guaranteed, another 37 years I will answer all questions.
Raju, you want to ask any question? Okay, you may raise your
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, wonderful.
So, my question is, as you told that we should not believe in the historical event, even you example in through your context that you should not believe in that historical event, but we must learn it. My question is, in Indian philosophy or in Indian culture, Indian aspect, there are two sides of application, Chorcha and Chorja, and they two are internally related to each other. And Chorja is a aspect of learning, and Chorja is a applications of that study. And this Chorja cannot be happen without belief. So my question: how we can utilize the message given that historical event without belief, which is an inseparable part of Georgia. So my question is how we can utilize that message in our daily life.
What is called criticism in your language?
Criticism means samalachana.
So what does it? Is it a constructive one or destructive one?
Destruct.
No. Actually, it is called nirupana. What is rupam? Rupam is shape. So if something is shapeless, what is my job? Perfect it. So every debate, every discussion is to perfect, smoothen. We are all stones which are part of a big stone. So when we go into a cut piece, we will have sharp edges. So when too many sharp edged stones, will you see that in the river side? You will see so smooth. You know how it became so smooth? By hitting it with many stones, rolling it many times over and over time. It becomes so smooth, right? So what is our life experience? Roll it with the different people and get into the best shape. That is life. So I believe LIFE, life, is live in full enjoyment. How do you enjoy? You can enjoy what is human being human. What is social being social. Very simple definition. So we have to be human and we have to be social. And why are you studying? What is the difference between human being and animal?
So the basic difference is human beings are intellectual person.
No, you can see much more intelligent. Your dog understands much better than all of us. Can smell and identify things. The bees have got more intelligence than human being. Given a flower, you have to smell. You don't understand whether it is original or duplicate. Then we have to burn it and see. But no bees will come and near to that. It knows whether it is duplicate or original, whether it has smell or not. It will not come and check. What a great intelligence. Intelligence wise, there are many animals better than us. What makes us different? At least that you must learn from me. What makes us different? Rationality. This is what I am saying. Viveka, Vivechana, Buddhi. I can identify things.
We can ask question who I am, why I am suffering.
That question is knowledge.
Knowledge.
So there is only one animal who will sit like this and give lecture. There are only animals like this who will sit and listen. That's human being. Have you seen any dog sitting and giving lectures to dogs? So asking questions, curious to know. The curiosity is the biggest problem. Right? So we are all getting polished by knowing. So what is life? Learn in full enjoyment. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunani samani chaitani nirnam pashunam jnanam naranam adigo vishesho anebihina pashubhi samana. Knowledge. So creating knowledge is the purpose of the whole activity what we do. Learning. Learning is the essence of every activity what we do.
Pandita, you want to ask me a question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for your wonderful lecture. I am Pandita Datta. I am a student of philosophy, PhD. Sir, my question is, you were talking about that if an individual can become a good human being, then it will create a good society. So, individual to become a good individual, we necessarily need to practice some spiritual things, spiritual practices we should inculcate in our day-to-day life. But in our education system, this is awfully lacking. So this is creating the outer conflict, the all kind of social, political, economic, any kind of discrimination, any kind of conflict. So, I mean, why this has not been given that much seriousness in our education system as well as in our society? only to the outer development, economic development, and the main root cause of all the conflicts is our inner afflictions, inner pollution, inner problems. So why this has not been that much given attention? That's what I am asking.
Once upon a time, India was very strong in what she has concerned now. That's why the whole world used to come here and learn. India's Vidya has got two parts, Savidya and Avidya. I don't have to tell philosophy people. Savidya and Avidya. One is materialistic. Sharirya madhyam khalu dharma sadhana. I have to come here to give a lecture, right? Whatever value system, the flight cannot be, the ticket fellow will not give me a ticket when I say I am a philosopher, I want going for a lecture, give me free ticket. Will they give? Wherever avidya is required, you need avidya. Materialistic things are required, you need money. Comfort is required, you need. So it's not spiritual alone. I have fivefold development. All DrTPS programs are fivefold development. Physical, emotional, intellectual, social, spiritual. We have confused people. Saying that you are spiritually high, then don't dress up well. What does it mean? I cannot be a management professor and being spiritual. No, that's not possible. I cannot do business and being spiritual. That's not possible. But you look at tradition of India, we have a Rajaguru. Different categories of gurus were there. Brahma Guru, Deva Guru, Rishi. Names are used many. Deva Rishi, Brahma Rishi, Raja Rishi. What is Raja Rishi? He is practical man, politics.
Yes.
But he has also spirituality.
Kotila can be the best example for personality.
So what is to be done? You need to be shariram. Body has to be taken care of first. Emotion, next one. Then intelligence. Then social. Then spiritual. So what is required? Fivefold development. All education system should have physical, emotional, intellectual, social, spiritual development. If it is not there, you are being spiritual. You have a lot of people. They think themselves are spiritual. You can go to temple and then say, oh, the priest is chanting love. Oh, he is spiritual. No. Spiritual can be only with intellect. Every mantra he chants, he must be able to understand the meaning. So go to the nearest temple. He may be chanting mantra. Ekachame, 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 trishyashtame, trishyashtame, panchajame, panchajame, saptajame, saptajame, navajame, navajame, ekachame, ekachame, toyos. Ask him, what does it mean? If he doesn't know, tell him. Don't. What does it mean? Ekachame, ekachame, trishyashtame, ekachame, trishyashtame, panchachame, saptajame. Arithmetic progression. Some God doesn't like arithmetic progression. Geometric progression. Ekam cha, dasham cha, shatam cha, sahasram cha, ayutam cha, prayutam cha, niyutam cha, kavitam cha. Geometric progression. What he speaks is mathematics, but he doesn't understand mathematics. Do you think our ritualistic way of things were intellectually null and nothing there? It had full of mathematics, physics, chemistry. So spirituality was not something different. Today, many people say, I am a meditation master from Himalayas, Swami Rama's tradition. You look at DrTPS yoga. I keep saying, not monkey's job. Yoga is not crossing your seat and then saying, oh, I am a yogi. What yogi? Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. You will reach samadhi only when yama, niyama, asana. Suppose you want to do asana, you must have physics, na? Correct? Pranayama. How to take breath also you should know. Is it not physical? No, it's not physical. It is emotional. Because Ramana Maharshi said, when your mind, breath is controlled, pranayamena yuktena sarva roga samaraha. If you can control your prana, all disease will go. Which disease? Not physical, emotional. Whom do you pray when you do yoga? Who is the Rishi for yoga? Yeah. Anybody who knows the first chanting, praying Patanjali? Yogena Chittasya. So what does it mean? Yogena Chittasya. Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So Patanjali was a psychologist. Number one. Is it over? No. Next one is Padena Vacha. He is a great communicator. Communication is being social. So it is not emotionally I am good and keep quiet. No, I have to be a social being involving into activities. Then only. So who is the person for all that? Same Patanjali. Then malam sharirasya vaidya. In my body part getting clean. So body, emotion, intellect, right? Then all the social activities. That can be religious, that can be political, that can be economic. Any activity is a social activity. All that together should be within us. Fivefold development.
So the fivefold development is required.
Yeah, that is education. The purpose of education. But don't compare with today's academics. Today I got one of my junior who was, when I was director, he was a reader. Now he is a principal of a college. He has sent me a statistics. I think 46% of the seats in science classrooms in India is vacant. People are not even joining. That's a UGC report. I call all the colleges I was discussing while coming. All the colleges are soft jails. Suppose there are no colleges, 10th class, who is really interested only should study. What will happen to India? 25% of the population will be on the road tomorrow without admissions in colleges and universities. What will happen? India will go to docks. Calamities will be there. Riots will be there, right? So what is college doing now? Don't compare education in the universities and colleges as a man development. Great man from your land. Swami Vivekananda said, what is education? Man making is education. Repeat. Man making is education. What is man? You are the people who have to take this message to the whole world. I come from a different land. You come from the same land where Vivekananda speaks this. Let us take it as a message and talk to the whole world. Man making is education. But we are giving certificates is education. That's a pathetic situation now. So I agree with you. Concern is there. But I am worried about, I have concern. We have concern. The next generation, at least my job is to pass the concern. Solutions will not come. If passing concern, probably that will go into the next generation. Somebody will dig up some solutions. That's what I am expecting. Wonderful.
Shagor, you want to ask question? Okay, sir. I should call him. Anybody else? There is. Shagor, and then Thea. And after that, if we cannot take more questions because we need to go to department also. They have lunch time now. Students have lunch time. So, Shagor, be very brief.
Hello. Thank you, sir, for your lecture, and I am very happy with the multiple information, and there is very influential thinking and the lecture.
Now you come directly to the question. Come directly to the question.
My question is, how do we able to overcome wire between me and myself? Because all the wire starts from the inner self and myself, and it is the simplest place where the wire started and then the wire become more and more violent in the outside.
Ramana Maharshi, DrTPS. Type in and then see my YouTube in which I am explaining Ramana Maharshi's scriptures. You know Ramana Maharshi, right? Arunachalam. Tamil Nadu, Arunachalam. Ramana was, after Shankara, if India produced some spiritual stalwart, that is Ramana Maharshi. Right? Ramana Maharshi has answered this question beautifully. Ask who am I? And I taught in America. And there are beautiful people who learned this sloka, and then we had a satsang in which they were singing and I am explaining. So send a WhatsApp to me, I will send the link. Otherwise, Ramana, Ramana. Beautiful name. The reverse will become Marana. Either Ramana should come or Marana should come. Correct? Correct. Like Devi said, no, the Shiva doesn't become Shiva and it becomes Shava if Valli is not there. That Valli is called Devi. Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yadi Bhavati Shakta Prabhavitam Naje Devam Devo Nakhalu Kushala Spandidamavi. Saundar Lahari. Right? So Saundaryam you can see in everything around, the conflict will not be there. I will not be there. I am not speaking. My Atma is speaking. The minus should go. The mind should become minus. I should go.
And here, you ask your question, we will very come related to the question. She is a research for this department, care. Switch it on.
Come here, run and come. Come in the front. Run! Is it how Bengali people will run or what? You are a Bengali? No. Come here. Come here. I want here so that your record will come here. Yeah, on, switch on.
Sir,
Yeah.
I have switched on, but it's not working.
You are putting it back off now.
Oh, okay.
No, now off.
I
Now on. You speak louder. Good.
Namaste, sir. Okay, namaste, Dr. Shashi Kumarji. Sir, so nice to see you in person. Like, I listened about you a lot from our HOD ma'am. And, sir, my question is that, can we base politics on spirituality? Because according to, if we...
There are two types of people in India.
Yeah.
One is spiritually political, politically spiritual. Two examples will be Aravindo one and another one is Mahatma Gandhi. Good enough. Aravindo was a person who left politics and became spiritual. And Mahatma Gandhi was one who was spiritually high and then was in politics for long.
But sir, my confusion is regarding this, that when we go to spirituality, I think that it indicates to Paramarthika Satta, but when we come to politics and war, these are true in case of Vyavaharika Satta. So how these two...
That is why best example we said the Kaudilya. That's why I said Rajarshi, don't follow Brahmarshi, Devarshi. They are not in this world. Right? Everybody has a purpose. Do you think I cannot be a spiritual man when I am so careful about my dressing? Right? Do you think a military captain cannot be a spiritual man? Not correct. His job is different. There is a professional dharma, right? And a human dharma. That is why we have got, you have finished your bachelor's, right?
Yes.
What is bachelor?
Bachelor degree, it's a degree.
Yeah, B stands for bachelor stands for what? Bachelor stands for what? I am not asking the rest. I am a bachelor of science, I am a bachelor of law. Bachelor stands for what? Brahmachari. What is Brahmachari? My Brahma, my creativity is running inside which subject?
Philosophy.
Yeah, my subject of philosophy, 3 years, my Brahma was going. All the time I was thinking about it. Does it mean that you did not eat? Does it mean that you did not take care of your body? So, that means your creativity was inside that. You understood what I am saying? So, I am a Brahmachari in movie means I keep on thinking when I get Brahmacharibhya. Brahmacharibhya, 3 types of knowledge. Acharyat Padamadate. From an Acharya you get 1/4. Padam Shishya Samedhaya. Padam sa Brahmacharibhya. With the community. So 2 people joins, what to discuss? If spirituality you are discussing, you are a spiritual person. You understood the definition? If I am meeting, what's your name?
Kheroy.
Kheroy. It's very difficult to know.
Name is Kheya.
Yeah.
Name is Kheya.
Khaya. Yeah. So Khaya and me, when we meet, if I am discussing spirituality with you, you are a spiritual person, I am a spiritual person. That's it. If I am discussing with you politics, you are a political person, I am a political person. So what happens to me, when I meet, you can see, go to my website, you can see me, Prime Minister is holding my hand, not I am holding his hand. What do you discuss with the Prime Minister for 20 minutes? I should have a subject. When I meet Amitabh Bachchan, I will speak to him for half an hour on a movie. When I meet a political person, your present governor, who is that? Ananda Bose. Ananda Bose and me were sitting like this in many programs. We are close friends. When I was in Delhi, he was secretary there. Your present governor is a person with whom I worked for probably 2007-9. We were together for many programs. Correct? So when we are with him, what we discuss is a different subject. When I am with the mathematics professor, what do I discuss? Mathematics. So don't you think we can have a plate with a lot of sabjis around? India is varieties. Correct? Does it mean I eat only with one sabji? No, I eat with everything. So life is a mix of everything, but I have a focus on something. That focus is brahmachari. Then when 3 years you run like that, you can become a master. That's why you have a master's. Then after that, what you can do, your whole thing you can start loving it. That's your PhD. Got it? That's a path to be followed. You have to be a brahmachari for 3 years. That is why in most of the ashrams also they will tell you, study this 3 years, brahmacharyam. Then you have little higher where you discuss with the people. That's why we say vidyalayam. Then what is college called in Bangla? And then university is called? See, what is it? You have to add, explore bigger and bigger. Starts with something. So when you come here, it is not that vidya. Bigger relationship with the two things. Good.
Okay, thank you. I think there might be many questions from you, but Dr. Shashikumar is here. Today he will be here. Tomorrow also he will be delivering a lecture in the department. I think it will be here also.
It's here?
So he is available. If you want to discuss anything, if you want to raise further questions, he is available. And more importantly, he has given his number to you. So if you want to listen to his lectures, you can start if you. So nowadays there are so many platforms to listen to people. So with this, the third lecture, the student lecture comes to an end. And I, on behalf of the department, on behalf of the Department of Philosophy, convey my thanks to Dr. Shashikumar for coming to our department. He has come a long way from, I think, from Kerala to here. Hyderabad to here. And it is really a great task because he is so busy person. In spite of his packed schedule, he has agreed to come here. So we are really thankful to you, Dr. Shashikumar. And our students right from morning, they are eagerly waiting to listen to you. I think they are also enriched now. And we shall be waiting for your tomorrow's lecture. And they may have certain issues that they want to discuss. I hope they will be continuing after this lecture. Okay, thank you all.
So thank you.